Welcome back to another Backchat Bite. Today I want to welcome Kathy to our podcast. Kathy's one of our amazing mums in the Backchat village. Welcome, Kathy.
Thank you.
I wanted to talk about your journey with your eldest little one, who I've been working with now for
nearly 4 years.
I remember the first time I met you.
Yep.
I remember your little guy and I remember your baby in the stroller, and he's now a big boy in school. It's been a lovely journey though.
It has been. It's been what I thought was going to be a quick journey, not so quick, but it's because of the intensity of what goes on in your clinics it's amazing. And what you've shown me and taught me and Hudson in those 4 years has completely changed my view on how you look at kids with learning difficulties. And having that support has been so amazing, because I was lost at first, completely lost. I'd gone and seen so many different people and got all these different opinions, and I was it's just an overload. It was
just a rabbit hole, isn't it?
It was just go everywhere. Yeah, it was way too much, and I just was searching for somebody just to tell me this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah, that big picture.
This is going to be the process. This is what you're going to have to expect. And I wasn't getting that anywhere. And I think, thankfully, I found you to be able to guide me, because it sets up those expectations early.
Yeah, for it's going to be a marathon.
Yeah, and knowing what effort I'm going to have to put in, because that is a lot. Like for 4 years, and I'm talking, 3 therapy sessions a week. And then on top of that, because Hudson has a motor planning issue, it's all this cross patterning. I didn't even think about, getting one side of the brain to fire off to the other. So exposing him to, because he had difficulties, moving one arm over the other arm, and his running was very stiff and all these other things. So you just talking me through, like, expose him to everything, get him running, swimming, soccer, everything we can do. And, even sitting in your clinics, and I never even thought to, like, every time we'd count 1, 2, 3, we'd have a ball. We're counting, throwing a ball.
And we're jumping on the mini tramp. We're jumping, talking, throwing a ball.
Back and forward, It's a totally different approach to just sitting in a room and just
sitting at a table and expecting these little ones to build their brain while they're sitting down. I remember that first week I saw you, the next week you came in and you said, we climbed a mountain last week. And I went, wow, this is a family I want in my clinic, because you literally have moved mountains with him, with the intervention that yourself and Adam have put in. It's a huge team effort. Little Huddy, had a very severe motor planning, which affected his speech, affected his language. As he's gotten older, it has affected that cognitive load with his reading, which we're now really working hard on. And that comes through with his sustained attention for the load in reading and writing. But you guys keep stepping up every time there's a new challenge or things change, and he's doing really well, Kathy.
He is. Oh, he is a superstar, and I just look at him and, he's overcome so many diversities. I think, because of that, he has so much empathy and he has so much respect for people around him. He is a little legend, and I feel his willingness to accept new things now, because I've just thrown him into anything and everything. And I'm sure he looks at me every day and goes, "What are you doing to me now, Mum?" So microtherapy, everything, there's and because it's not just one thing that could be impacting your little kid. I've been looking at, like, his mouth structure, because he might have a high palate, he might have jaw issues, so you've got to look at that side of things. And there's so many different things to look at. And like you said, it's a rabbit warren, but having someone to guide you and find and when to activate things, because your kid's not ready for everything at once.
No, and the brain changes.
Exactly. So
different levels, different stages, different testosterone levels in boys, different levels of that impacts on their learning, what to do when.
Yep. So, going in and asking him to read a 10-page book when he can't even sit still for 5 seconds.
Or to work on a speech sound when he has no joint attention.
Yes. And, I remember in prep, even with all the issue Huddy's gone through, mums would come to me and go, how is Huddy reading a book or sitting there and reading a book? How can we, because they go into prep and they're expected, these little kids, to sit there and read one book straight up. Now, I'm like, there's no way. We had to start off by reading one page, go for a run. Read another page, go for a run. Then we built up to 2 pages, go for a run. Then 3 pages. And it was a gradual build rather than
step by step by step.
How I don't know, people are expected just to walk into that first day of class and let kids just sit down and just stay seated and stay attention spanned. I don't know how that's expected.
And I think for a lot of children that comes naturally. I think for a lot of kiddies that does. Not so much nowadays because, again, as I've talked about, both parents having to work, time is taken away from kids with screen, everything. Yeah. But that comes naturally to a lot of children. Other parents don't have to work as hard as many of us have had to.
Yeah, that's probably true,
with little ones. But that brings me to my next question, which is about the wiring of children, that neurochemical wiring, and how important it is for parents to know the way that their child is wired from early on. Whether you have a quick processor who retains everything, is smart enough to twist it all around and be 10 steps ahead, or whether you have this child who's got slower processing, a slower working memory, difficulties with retention. That's really important to know early on, isn't it, Kathy?
Yeah, well, I have two completely different kids. So Hudson is that more that's slow. It takes him a long time to retain it. You could have to do a sound 1,000 times and then it breaks again and you have to start all over again. Whereas Bray, my other kid, is totally different. He's wired. He gets things. He can fool people, but it's also fooling people because you think he's got everything and he knows everything. He knows how to respond quickly, but at the same time, he's got those underlying issues there, but he's just hiding them in his boisterous self.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. I've been reading the football series, that soccer series that I read in the school holidays at the workshops, the Mbappe and the Ronaldo.
Yes.
And the boys loved them. But it's interesting in reading particularly Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's stories. There's a really interesting part in those stories about their personalities and about how motorically gifted they were, but how they also always had to win. They were never really a team player. They always had to win. They had to be the best on the field. They had to, and they were really cross whenever someone else got the ball. And that's that kind of other profile that, again, I've got. My two youngest are very similar. One very differently wired, one who's creative and slower and daydreamy and slower processing. And then this quick, soccer kicking, golf whiz, motorbike whiz, can do anything. Hops on something first time he gets it, yet struggles again with that deeper regulation. And it's so interesting. What would you say to any mum now who's thinking, gee, what can I do with my little boy who's either a slower processor, struggles to retain, or at the other end of the scale, a little one who is really busy, really able in lots of different areas but still struggling? What would you say to a mum who's got two of those very different in their households?
It is a tough one to deal with two different personalities, because I find I don't want to punish one for something the other's done, or not punish it in a way, but what I'm saying, you
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like, you're like, because they're so different in the. I think you have to promote the good attributes in both.
Yes,
is first and foremost.
Have to accept them
because.
And nurture them.
Yeah, because I don't want to hold Bray back. That's a beautiful trait where they go-getter, fiery,
Absolutely.
That is amazing trait. And Hattie has this beautiful caring trait.
Oh, so caring.
That I want to promote.
So sensitive.
And so it's promoting those beautiful traits in the family, and then I guess seeking help and assistance for working out how to navigate those different personalities and the different way of learning. Because it's difficult, but I think talking with you, Olwen, you can really break it down into that achievable level.
It is a journey, isn't it? It's a marathon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, Kathy. I really appreciate you coming on and speaking.
Loved it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Olwen. If you know somebody who needs to hear this episode today, please share it with them. Until next time.